Welcome to Podheim, Jirok's Valheim podcast. Let's give him the business.
Hey everybody, today is January 28, 2025. I'm your host, Josep the Viking, and joining me today are my fellow Vikings, Gwen, the Shield Maiden.
Hello.
Hello there, Gwen. We also have joining us, Shield Maiden, Morning Darkness.
Hi.
Hello, hello. How are you two doing today?
Breathe,
Yeah.
Gwen. Breathe.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and we're going to talk about that. But actually, yeah, that's one of the things we're going to talk about down there. But Morning Darkness, can you give everyone a preview of what we'll be discussing today?
Absolutely. We'll be talking about a huge Valheim. Sorry. We'll be talking about a huge Valheim fan event happening this weekend, and you'll definitely want to stick around and not miss it. And we'll be talking about some other exciting games that we've been playing since our last podcast. And we'll also be covering our adventures in Valheim since the Ashlands and Bogwitch updates.
Yeah, especially since
Ashlands
what's that?
A year ago now.
I
can't believe it's been a year. I saw that because I was, randomly searching for information or YouTube videos on Valheim. And I was seeing all the stuff that was, all the hype of Ashlands. And that was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
A year ago. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Well, we'll get into it when I talk about what I've been doing in Valheim, because Ashlands is so far away, right? So before we get into everything, of course, I want to share with you G-Portal. That's right. Save 10%. If you need a server, just use my link, jiroktheviking.com/G-Portal. And we have a community over on Discord. If you're looking for people to play, we have servers for other games there as well. Discord.gg/JiroktheViking. And if you want some cool merch like I'm wearing, and they'll see the logos on the front, not on the back.
The discussion is real.
Yep, of course, just go to jiroktheviking.com/merch and give them the business. So quick personal updates, everyone. So the last podcast was like the 19th of November or something?
It was mid-November,
Yeah, mid-November. Let's see. Gwen, why don't you tell us what you've been up to?
November. So since then I've traveled a bit, mostly to go visit family before they were all off to Japan, because my parents and one of my siblings went off to meet my family in Japan for the holidays, as in Christmas and New Year's. Obviously I didn't go because I went a bit earlier last year. So instead, I went to see them in France, where they live, before they went. So I had kind of an early Christmas. My family Christmas was mid-December. And it was also...
You exchanged presents and everything?
Yeah, we did like we had like a little fake tree, because my parents didn't bother having a tree up because they were away anyway. So we did a little mock tree, and we had a mock Christmas dinner 10 days early. So that was nice. And it was good timing. I timed it also with my best friend's birthday, best friend who lives in Paris. So it was nice to be there for that. And I was way overdue a visit to friends and family in France. So did that. And then spent Christmas in the UK with some friends, and it was very chill and it was very nice. So that was my holiday season.
Nice. So how long does it take for you to get from England to France?
Not long at all.
Yeah.
Door to door with the Eurostar, or even with the plane, probably about 5 hours. So from my place to
from where you're at,
to maybe not my parents' place because they live a little bit kind of outside in the sticks, but to central Paris about 5 hours. So
and they have a tube that runs under the water, right?
Yeah, the Eurostar. Yeah, so I used to take that all the time because it was super convenient. It's great for like business travels because it's just 2 hours and 20 minutes from the center of London to the center of Paris. Well, north center-ish of Paris. So it's really convenient, but it's very expensive if you don't book really far in advance. It's gotten like the prices have been rising. I think financially they're not doing very well. It was an expensive project. It was like part funded by a company in the UK and a company in France and so on. But I think they suffered a lot from the pandemic. And since then, the prices have gone up a lot. And so I also live quite close to an airport, to one of the main London airports. So I got in the habit of flying instead, which is, I know, not great for the environment, but also it's cheaper. It's much cheaper for me to do that. So,
which is faster for you if you fly or you take
the same? So
about the same.
Yeah, it's about the same because taking into account the being at the airport early, like an hour and a half before your flight, kind of thing, plus the journey. I'm about 45 minutes to the airport. Count an hour if there's traffic. So counting that time plus the flight time is nothing at all. It's like 50 minutes in the air. That it's like you take off, and before you know it, before the the seatbelt thing comes off for like 10 minutes, and then you're already on the coming down. So it's like super quick.
It's almost like the equivalent of flying to Southern California from where you reckon I
are. So it's not long at all. And actually, even driving and taking the train, because there's some that you can, if you drive, you could either take the ferry, which takes a while because the ferry is a bit slow, or you can put your car on one of the trains that goes under in that same tunnel that the Eurostar goes to. So that is much faster. You're like just half an hour, I think, in that tunnel. So even by car, it would be about 5 hours. So I've got multiple options. I'm lucky. The two countries are well connected. So yeah, I can't remember what the question was.
Just curious about the travel in between and how long that took. Because I knew that. I remember when I was there, but way back in like 2001, we took the tunnel under the water there to get to France. But
it's super convenient. When I used to travel a lot between the two countries for work, I used to take the Eurostar because, well, first work was paying, so I didn't care as much about the financial aspect. But also, you can on the train you can really easily work because you've got there's even Wi-Fi on the train and stuff like that. So it was quite convenient. You're sat for 2 hours and you could just get work done. And you've got less transit time because the airports obviously are a little bit outside of London and Paris. So you have to add, even if the flight is much shorter, you have to add all the transit times to and from the airport. So
yeah.
Yeah,
I like the train. MD will be familiar. Sacramento is pretty close. It's about an hour drive for me if there were no traffic. But unfortunately, traffic's always terrible. So almost every time I go to Sacramento, it takes me about 2 hours.
Right.
So I have been starting to take the train there if I can, which is actually quite fun. They have a food and drink on every other car and restrooms and all that, and tables you can work on or hang out on. It's fun. But MD, for your holidays, what were you up to?
Oh man, they were so busy. So I hosted both Thanksgiving and Christmas brunch because we're at the new house, right? And the new house is so much bigger. And so it was a lot of fun to be able to do that. But it was also a lot of work.
Hosting always is.
Yeah. And then the child got lots of new toys and new books. Oh my gosh, he got this one book that makes me cry literally every time. And I've read it on stream a couple times, and it just, oh my gosh, it's such a tearjerker. Like let me see, is this, no, hold on. I have it like right here. Hold on. The name of it is You're Here for a Reason. And it is a child version of You Matter, and you are special. And oh my gosh, it's oh gosh, it gets me every time.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good.
And then I got sick on Christmas Day.
That's
And
not fun.
it wiped me out for like a good 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then I still have a cough that is lingering and annoying.
Isn't it weird how the coughing part just sort of lingers forever? For me, it usually lasts about a month and a half. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I got sick on Christmas morning too. Woke up, didn't feel good.
Oh no.
Yep. So it sounds like just like you. Yep.
Christmas Eve or Christmas Day Eve. So it was like,
oh, that's when it started to hit you?
Yeah, it was after I had seen all the family. I was feeling fine. I hosted the brunch, went to my dad's, still feeling fine. Started to feel a little achy in the middle of dinner with my dad's family.
Yeah.
Which, if I had known that I was coming down with something, I obviously would not have gone to these places. Like, I felt so bad. And I came home and like I took a nap because I was feeling I was like, is this a pain flare? Not sure. Start stream with husband. Because we've been co-streaming Satisfactory, and I'll go more into that later.
Yeah.
And like halfway through stream, I'm like, I think I have a fever.
Well, yeah, never fun to get sick, but at least you got to celebrate Christmas, with everyone. Yeah, everyone still came over because we hosted for dinner as well, and I stayed away from everybody. Everybody wondered why I wasn't hugging them. But
I'm sorry you got sick too.
Yeah, but I mean, it happens. At least build our immune system so we're stronger. But so let's get to the exciting stuff that we have going on. So we are this weekend. We have something big going on, and it is Val-Con, right?
Yay.
Yeah. So Val-Con is like it says here, the first global fan-led Valheim convention, and oh my goodness, there's so much to talk about with it. So it starts on Saturday, this coming Saturday, so shortly after the podcast drops, February 1st, 2025 at 4 p.m. UTC. For conversion for those in the Americas, at least that would be 8 a.m. Pacific, and do the math for your time
noon
zone.
Eastern. Yeah,
exactly. Like I said, it's going to run for 24 hours. There's a part 1 and a part 2, just because YouTube, you can stream a full 24 hours, but it only records for 12. So
what a strange limitation.
Yeah, it stops recording after 12, and which, could be okay because we could just record the other 12 and upload it, but we'll lose all the engagement in the chat, right, Gwen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And all the viewership, the live viewers, the viewer count and all of that, which obviously for YouTube is super important for your for your VOD to then be suggested to more new viewers. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, and having that live conversation, I think, will be fun because people will have questions and ask questions, and we'll try to answer as we go. And so throughout the convention, throughout the full 24 hours, part 1 and 2, there will be multiple hosts and co-hosts, sort of like taking you through in between various segments that are going to be demonstrated. You'll see the 3 of us, and you'll see lots of other content creators that you're going to recognize. And we have so many people involved. We have content creators, just fans of Valheim, community managers,
mod developers.
Yeah. And we have something, like 50 or 60 content creators? Is that
100? 100.
double that.
100, Jirok. What are you talking about? We have involved everyone in the community.
Yeah, there's so many. So I'd be surprised if your favorite content creator wasn't involved. Although it did conflict with a few people's schedules. So I know that not everybody will be here, but I'm sure some of your favorites will be there during the 24-hour convention, and hopefully you get exposed to some new ones, and you can check out their content if it if you find it interesting. So there'll be an intro ceremony, which will be tons of fun because it's going to include a tour of the online convention world. So they've been building this really cool convention world, and they're actually going to have the world on multiple servers, and you're going to be able to sign up to join these worlds, right? Gwen, have they figured out exactly the system and released that publicly yet? How viewers?
Yeah, so
we're
we
going to
are
last minute.
Yeah, so we're in just final triple testing phases before we can start the signups, the opening up the registrations for the in-game convention. But essentially, it will be free. The only requirement will be to sign up via an Eventbrite page. So free ticket, but you give out your details, and that's just for us to be able to know how many people are coming in and out of the servers, or how many people are at least interested in it for future conventions. It's good, stats to have, but also as a bit of a barrier to avoid trolls and griefers and bad actors from getting in. The moment you have to leave some contact details, an email address, it might hopefully it will prevent some spammers and stuff like that to come in. So it's a bit of both, like barrier of protection, but also because it's important for us, the organizers, to know how many people are joining these worlds, and then essentially people will sign up via Eventbrite, and they'll receive a confirmation email which will give them a IP address and password that will be live on the at the time the convention starts. So as Jorg said, at 4 p.m. UTC on Saturday, that's when the worlds will be opened up, and then people will have a limited time on the servers. There's a timer system of 2 hours, so they'll have 2 hours to kind of go around and visit the world, and that again is to let people go, get in and out, because as we know, Valheim is quite limited when it comes to number of players that the worlds can have. We will have the max player count mod server side, so that we increase the server capacity over the vanilla 10 players. So it will be increased to about 20 or 25. But even so, we want to make sure that everyone has a good user experience when joining, not lagging too much and so on. So we are still somewhat limiting it, and enforcing that 2-hour timer rule, so people can get in, and then once they're done looking around, they get out. Another person, it frees up the spot for another person. So that's kind of the system that we came up with.
Well, and in the world, I wanted to tell everybody what's going to be in the world, because that's going to be the really exciting thing. Why should you come? So you're going to be able to participate in various activities, games that are going to have been set up. There's a bunch of amazing builds that people can visit, and you're going to be able to meet some of the content creators at their convention booth. So some of them have built up their own convention booth, and they're going to show up there'll be a schedule where they'll be there, and you can actually log into the game and hang out with them and talk to them. Like I said, there'll be multiple servers. And Gwen, have we figured out whether or not we're going to release this server, this world map to the public, or is that still up for debate?
Still up for discussion.
Yeah.
Part of us want to, but we'll need to figure out the logistics of that. And obviously all those builds are builds that were created by the community or donated by the community. So, there's a bit of like IP from actual builders and creators on there. Yeah. So I think we need to kind of discuss that a bit. We'll see. I think we'll see how it goes during the event. If it's extremely popular and not everyone was able to get in during the 24 hours, then there might be a chance that we either leave the servers up for a little longer, or make the world downloadable for people who missed out to be able to catch up. But no promises.
No promises.
It's still
the one thing we can
discussion.
Promise is if you watch the 24-hour convention, you will get to see everything. And if you can sign up to, log in and experience it yourself, if you're available on this weekend that we're doing this. And, if not, and you're rewatching a rerun of the event, then you'll get to see what was going on at least. Because I know just watching other people's videos, it gives me so many ideas. And I think, oh my gosh, how much time did it take them to design that, and build that?
Can I do a quick check-in and list some of the games that I tested out last night on
Sure.
Go for it.
Yeah, give a little teaser. Not too much info on each, though.
Oh no, we're allowed to though. I actually like fully got to. I won't do too much time. So there's Whack Award, where you get to basically it's whack-a-mole, but with your character in game, and you get to whack the ward, and it makes like dwarf sounds. And I currently hold the high score.
Ooh, nice.
Come beat me. Anyway, another game is Hoverball, which is basically like soccer or football, depending on what part of the world you're in. And you get to kick a one of the cart boxes. If you break the cart and the box is left with stuff in it, it's a box that you get to kick around on a field. And if you score, it actually like will say Team Red or Team Blue, and fireworks will say, will go off, and it'll be you scored. Another one is a fully functional Plinko board.
Yeah.
You pull and this is vanilla. This blows my mind. You pull a lever, and like little ancient seeds plunk down and give you points. And
well, I should point out too to the people who are listening that a lot of this stuff that you're hearing MD talk about is not like in the vanilla game, that when you log it, like you don't have access to this stuff, but the modders have figured out a way to create this stuff, and you do not need mods in order to play these. I think there's going to be a modded world with some special things, but there's going to be an unmodded world for the player. The player won't need mods to get in. And and the version that you went into, MD, did you go into the version that you didn't need mods?
I mean, I was in the modded version because that's the current stable version.
No, but did you need to install mods?
Once again, for the world that we've all been working in, but to do any of these games, no mods are required.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
And then the other one that absolutely blew my mind was Grayling Hero, which is Guitar Hero, but you got to punch a Grey Dwarf to get the note.
Oh wow!
Oh my gosh! Listen to that devious giggle from Gwen. Oh my goodness!
I have seen that one. I've seen some footage of other people playing it. I haven't tried it myself, but I was putting together some promotional bits for the conference, and I saw that, and I was like, oh my gosh! And then I created a Grayling Hero kind of thing that looks like the Guitar Hero logo for the video thumbnail, and I was like, oh, this is so good. I love that. All those names, just the names of those mini games crack me up, let alone the games themselves. It's actually mind-blowing, all those features, the automations that are put in the game. And again, it's purely vanilla friendly, as a player you don't need mods to experience that, and it will blow your mind how some people have managed to figure out ways to use the items of the game and the code of the game, in-game code, to script those things that are fully automated and fully functional. It's really mind-blowing. And we actually have a panel discussion on that very topic, because the people who created all those games obviously were very much involved in Val-Con and helping out, and they will be talking about how they did all that. So interested.
So in addition to the activities on the server, and we're going to be doing a tour of the server, the video content that will be streaming throughout the 24 hours will be all variety of things. So first off, there'll be live and pre-recorded panel discussions. As Gwen said, one of them is how they modded Valheim so that the server is modded, but the players don't need mods to experience it. It's a really cool innovation that the modders have come up with recently, and they are doing so much exciting stuff with it. I've even done a few of those things on some of my servers, my seasonal servers, with that. In addition, there'll be pre-recorded videos from various content creators. So they put in all the work to make
videos, I must say. They're a lot of them are unpublished, were created especially for Val-Con, and will be released first on the Val-Con broadcast.
Yep. So you'll see them on Val-Con first, which will be awesome. And they include all kinds of different subjects. So some of the subjects are, they'll be showing certain builds and how to build. There'll be tours of really cool builds. There'll be some how-to videos, challenge runs, games, and just a lot of different adventuring that people are doing in Valheim. So the original content that you tune into creators for on their channels will be there. And also there'll be live streamers. So live streamers will, be streaming on Twitch or YouTube, and then they're going to come on and talk to us about what it is that they're doing. We're going to visit their stream quickly by sharing it in one of our windows. And then, you can tune into that stream too, if that's, something that you're really into. Check it out. But one of the great things about this is you're going to get exposure to so many great content creators. Like I thought I knew. I've been a content creator for Valheim for like 3.5, almost 4 years now, and I thought I knew almost everybody, but still, like when everybody started coming out of the woodwork saying, "Yeah, I want to be a part of Val-Con," I'm like, "Oh wow, look at all these names I don't recognize," and it's fun for me behind the scenes, getting exposed to all the new content is a lot of fun.
And as you say that, to chime in as well, I've been obviously in contact with a lot of those creators from the beginning as we were onboarding them and trying to recruit creators. And first, the reception that we got when we first started talking about Val-Con to all the creators, that first wave of creators that we contacted, was incredibly positive. I don't think anyone said, "Nah, it sounds not interesting." Everyone was interested and wanted to be part of it. Some people just were sorry that they couldn't make it because, of life constraints and kind of scheduling constraints. But everyone was so positive about this. It was really, really encouraging. And then the second thing that really kind of stood out to me as one of the organizers was just how the community really came together, and we have some incredible collabs between creators that either knew each other and were thinking of doing a collab for a while but didn't have an opportunity to, or even creators that didn't know each other and came together to create content for Val-Con, whether it's a stream and a special event that they're streaming, or a video that they did, or a challenge that they did together. And that was really kind of our intention with Val-Con. We talked about it on the last episode a little bit. But really, Val-Con is there to bring the community together, and seeing that actually happen, in real time with the creators and also mod developers. A lot of creators were actually exposed to new mods that they didn't know about, and were able to collaborate with mod creators, mod developers to make some stuff work for the in-game convention or for their own content. So it was really, really nice to see that already happening as we were prepping for the event. So I'm really excited about the event being live this weekend and seeing how much more the community will be brought together, including all the players and the Valheim fans who will be joining our in-game con and joining the live broadcast. So yeah, it's been wild.
But yeah, one of the things I'm really looking forward to is the content creators participating in something together. Because there's content creators that are doing things together, like we have the podcast, and I know you both do a lot of live streaming, so you bring other players from the community with you, so it's kind of fun. You get that interaction. But not all content creators have hung out together, so seeing them in a panel discussion discussing something, or in some in-game pre-recorded content, doing something together. I mean, it's fun to, you have your favorite personality, but now that personality is with some, others that you may or may not know, and what are they going to do or discuss? So it's always fun to see people come together and enjoy something like that together. And one of the big things that we have is we have a couple of VIP interviews, which I'm not going to reveal. If you want to find out who these VIP interviews are, you're going to have to check out the live stream, the 24-hour live stream. So I think that's about it, unless we missed anything you guys can think of. But yeah, there's a lot going on.
Oh
Yeah. So let's talk about merch real quick. Let's bring up MD and her backwards hoodie.
Oh my gosh, Jirak.
So there's this really great design on the back of a hoodie if you want to get one.
I mean, so I know that Canaris is the one who actually put a lot of the merch together.
And he did all the designs. Yeah.
He was really surprised that the community was so popular.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, like it's absolutely gorgeous. I think part of the reason why it had to be on the back is that it's a really big logo.
It's big design.
Yeah, the front has a big spot too, so
I know.
maybe we can convince
Because like a lot of the
powers
other
that be to make a front version for the streamers and content creators.
I know, right? There are 2 other sweatshirts that have front designs. So the Bees Are Happy design and the Wild Hearts one. Oh my gosh. I love the Wild Hearts design. I actually
do you have it?
I do.
Oh,
you have it.
I do.
Oh, you got it in a different color as well.
I got a t-shirt.
Oh, cute.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there's a very fun heart designs.
Oh my gosh, you can see the fur like flying around me. Fun fact, these are all pixel art enough that you can you can make these designs with wood.
In game. So even
oh, nice.
better than that, the concept, because so Canris I've brought Canris on board for a lot of our design stuff. So Canris did the design of the Val-Con logo. He is very creative, and he actually does design and branding as his full-time job. So I hope he won't mind me saying that. I mean, it's pretty obvious when you see how professional everything he does comes together. But he's helped us put together the branding and the logos for Val-Con, and then he had some time in December, and we were talking about doing merch and stuff, and he kind of volunteered to help with that, and he came up with some cool designs because originally he thought that I was like, okay, we've got the logos, great, let's slap them on a t-shirt and go. Like that's I was just thinking, if we're gonna do merch, it's gonna be our logo, right? But he had a really good point, which was like, well, people don't always want to have a logo of a brand on their on the clothing that they wear. Like there's one thing supporting creators and in that way, etc. But for everyday wear, you don't always want to be advertising something. So he came up with this series, which is the collection, the Wild Hearts collection, as he named it, which is essentially he took the inspiration from the in-game building and the beams, the 2x1, the 2 meter long beams, and he made those designs of all the cute animals that you can tame. Using only rotations that you can do in the vanilla game, and using the sizes of the various beams, so the 1 meter beam and the 2 meter beam, so that you can create them in the game, but also that way it's kind of a nod to the game as well. So you've got the boar, the wolf, the lox, and the askspin. And
there's 2 points as to why there isn't a chicken. The chicken, the best he could do was a profile of the chicken, and that didn't quite look right with the front facing of these others. But also because the chicken already comes tamed, it's not Wild Hearts, it's not the tameable creatures.
Exactly.
So that's why he didn't include the chickens.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, those are super fun. Yeah, like Gwen said, you don't always want to wear a brand, so you can wear the cute animals in their hearts.
No, I love my t-shirt. I'm going to wear it during stream.
I'm waiting for mine. I've ordered the Askspin one because it looks a lot like a neck, and I want to be able to tame necks. So I got the Askspin one in green to be like really like that one.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Point out that there's a notebook too. There is a front-facing hoodie with the
like I said,
Wild Hearts.
There are other front-facing hoodies, the Wild Hearts and the Bees Are Happy one too.
And there are socks.
Those socks, oh gosh, they're so pretty. See, there's the other hoodie.
Yeah, and the other hoodie, the Bees Are Happy hoodie. And mug of the wolfie there.
And
Howl
it's
and growl.
Yeah, because if you scroll away from it, you'll see it's 2 designs. There's an angry wolf, that's before you get your coffee, and a happy wolf after you drink your coffee.
You got to turn it to facing you. Angry while it's empty, and then once you fill it, you can turn it happy side.
Exactly. That's one of the mugs I ordered because it comes in really large sizes. And I broke my last big mug, so...
Yeah, I like that Fourth Wall Shop has a 16-ounce mug.
Well, yeah. So if you order after you hear this podcast, you obviously won't get it in time for Val-Con because it'll be happening a couple days later. But it's okay. Order now. Val-Con. There's the fourth wall is the one hosting the shop, but val-con.com/merch. So that will be a link that you can use, and it'll be all over on our
website. Actually, if you go to the other
tab, on the website. Yeah.
So if you go to our website,
you can just click the merch here.
val-con.org. If you click to merch, it will take you to the merch website.
All right. It's not .com, it's .org.
Yes. Yeah. Couldn't afford .com.
Well, the .coms are expensive if they're even available. Yeah.
Yeah. So the merch is going to be, the Wild Hearts collection will be available for forever. The Val-Con 2025 collection, including the Val-Con 2025 t-shirt and the cool cap and stuff, that's a limited edition, and it will be, I think, until the end of February. So if you like any of those items, make sure you go grab them before the end of September. There's a sticker, there's the really, really cool cap. And then there's the mug,
the t-shirt
and the t-shirt to celebrate the first ever Val-Con. The idea being that we will repeat this event, and so whoever's got the t-shirt for each edition, well, they'll be able to have bragging rights.
Yeah. Well, you could wear your 2025 during the 2026 and future Val-Con.
Show that you were one of the OGs.
Which the whole idea with Val-Con is that, we're bringing fans together to just have fun and celebrate Valheim. And we of course, we'd love to do a convention in person, but that's a lot to do for our first time. So all the people who came together to organize this wanted to put together this online streaming version and in-game version for everybody to have fun and experience. And our hope is that, it all goes well and we learn from this process that we can apply it to a future Val-Cons, and also maybe do an in-person one at some point in the future, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, cool. So check out Val-Con. Hopefully, most of you might be watching this after it's already released. So yeah, go over to their YouTube channel and watch the stream that already happened. So let's see. So we're going to talk a little bit about some other games that we've played since we did our last podcast on November 19th. Since we're all three content creators, we definitely, and I mean most players too, like they're constantly playing other games as well as Valheim because there's so much good stuff out there. So yeah, MD, what else have you played besides Valheim?
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
Yes, the child has been a little bit loud in the background, so I'm trying to manage. So I've been playing some Enshrouded. I have not played Enshrouded since its 5th update, which happened last night at like 9 p.m. my time.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, no, Enshrouded has been hitting some good marks. They have been hitting the beats of like good, consistent updates, and they tell you what's coming beforehand. I've been very impressed with Enshrouded. They just added some features, community features, including in-game text chat and proximity and global voice chat in the game.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
So yeah, no, like the newest updates, they are moving and shaking. I am very impressed with Enshrouded.
Is it more multiplayer friendly these days?
Yes.
I remember there's so many different issues. Like, can multiple players have the NPCs in their base?
I don't think so yet.
Not yet. Okay, I remember that's something they were working on, but
yeah, that is something they're working on. But I mean, so far we've got mostly community builds, but I know that's not always available for everyone.
Yeah.
And then I've also been playing Satisfactory in third person.
Oh, I want to play Satisfactory. It's like one of the burning ones on my list, especially because it went 1.0 just a few months ago, right?
It did. And that's the reason why
I'm so excited to try it.
I've been able to play. I've been playing a series with my husband. Fixmas just ended, which is an amalgamation of different holidays put together. But it was a very cute event that calls out the cultural appropriation. They're like, yes, we know that, the AI is super sassy. There's a very interesting mystery going on. We're in the middle of trying to make a factory to create rocket fuel. There's a lot of math involved and a lot of calculus. Like, I'm not going to lie. It's a little intense. Fortunately, my husband's an engineer, so he's helping walk me through some of it. But there's also a lot of adventure and a lot of creatures that want to murder you.
I hear exploring the world is actually something people should do. Like, some people get so caught up in building, but I heard that the world is really worth exploring because there's so much to see. That,
and the game gets easier the more you explore.
You probably get things like quality of life stuff. I'm so excited. I keep watching videos, and actually I probably would have played it already if it weren't for Val-Con, because I've been doing so much for Val-Con that I haven't had the time.
I hear you. And then another game that I've played is Return to Moria. They actually reached out to me and asked me to stream it on the Steam page a couple of different times. So that was really fun. Nice. And they had a really cute Yule DLC edition, as well as a Rohan DLC edition. Both were really, really neat. Gameplay has changed from like release to now. There are definitely some gameplay changes. The combat does feel a little bit better. There are a couple of other quality of life things that have been really, really nice. So we just recently finished a second playthrough, and it was worth doing the second playthrough. It was good to see the things that have changed and the things that have not. The building is still a little bit painful, but speaking of new games where there's building and survival and crafting and adorableness, can we take a moment to talk about Aloft?
Well, that is the big game that people have been talking about recently.
Okay, so it just came out to early access, and a lot of people who had like access to like the test game before were just like, and I'm like, no. Early access is different. The combat is still kind of clunky, but oh my gosh, the building is very satisfying. There's a really interesting mechanic where to learn different build pieces in the world, you have to explore, and then you have to have a sketchbook, and the sketchbook has to have both paper and charcoal to then copy those build pieces that you find in the world that you can then use in your build. And when we talk about, oh my gosh, the cute animals, no, you get to have farm animals, and they're so cute. No, it destroys me every time I see these creatures, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Why don't you pilot, like you fly the island around? Yes. Like you can set up sails and a steering wheel, and you can actually sail your island.
Yeah, like yes. You
this is on my list too. After Val-Con, this is going to be checked out.
This is so worth. It has some really great cues. It's a little buggy still, but like I've been inviting members of the community to come in. People are going crazy with the build. I have one person who joined us who has like a full pirate ship that he's built around his island.
Nice.
And then someone else who just joined, he has spent the last 2 days. He's played the game for 48 hours.
Oh, wow.
Not 48. I'm sorry, 24 hours. In 2 days, he's played the game for 24 hours. And oh my gosh, I am in love with this game.
Yeah. It's,
I am fully in love with this game.
My YouTube blew up as soon as this came out to early access. Like, so many channels have been covering this. So yeah, it looks like a fun cartoony art style that could be super cute.
It's very cozy. It's so cozy. Like, if I could recommend any game out there right now to Gwen, I would recommend this game to Gwen.
Oh wow!
And you did mention it when I visited your stream, and you were talking about this. Yeah.
No, this game has my heart. I love Valheim. I will never leave Valheim. I will always stream Valheim. But it has been very difficult to not stream Aloft every day and want to play it every day.
Just looking at that, it reminds me a little bit of Pal World mixed with Enshrouded.
Yes,
because of the gliding, the cuteness of Pal World, but with like sort of the mechanics of Enshrouded.
Absolutely. Another recent comparison has been Palia.
Oh yeah, Palia, yeah.
With the art style, yeah. But yeah, the cute coziness, like there is some combat, but the combat is a little bit clunky. And the game is very forgiving. If you die, you respawn at the nearest bed. Like there are no penalties. Chill. Yeah, like even if you try to glide your glider a little bit too far, something happens and you just end up at the nearest bed. It's fine. You're
fine. Just wake up for the next adventure. Well, cool. Yeah. I want to check out. So you got 2 games that you're playing that I want to check out.
Absolutely. Well, you should come hang out on my streams.
Well, I want to I want to check out Return to Moria because I did enjoy that game, and I know they've done a lot of updates.
They have.
I'm curious to see what that one is. But Gwen, I know that you've been doing some streaming. You've been super busy with Val-Con too and the holidays. But I see you pop up on a couple of games every once in a while on the stream.
Yeah, gaming has become very, very secondary to all my other hobbies and current responsibilities with Val-Con and stuff.
Yeah.
I had started. I don't know I can't remember if I already spoke about this last episode, if I had already started or not. But I finally got to the point where I had kind of slowed down some other playthroughs, so I was able to and I wanted to get back into Valheim. It had been a while, like a good 9 months of not playing Valheim, if not more. I've not played Ashlands at all, so I kind of skipped that update.
It's so far away.
I skipped that update, and then Bogwitch came out, but it came out at the same time as other stuff was happening, and I wasn't able to get to it straight away. But Jirok, you opened the season 7, of your community servers, which was a brand new, fresh world after Bogwitch update. And so I took that opportunity to do my favorite thing, which is to start fresh in Valheim and start a new playthrough. Because I was like, wow, okay, I know since Ashlands and Bogwitch, there's been quite a few, especially with Bogwitch, quite a few updates that impact also the early game. And so I wanted to experience that from the beginning, essentially, and not just, use an old world. So I started playing with a couple of people on season 7, built a base just on top of a dungeon so that the dungeon is the basement.
So did you do most of this, or was it a group effort, or did somebody else do most of this building?
Group effort. It was the main building is mostly me with some help from Jules. And then the village has expanded. Canarus came and built something nice. Ark came and built a proper wall. Legion has helped also a little bit with some of the building and making a functional animal farm, that kind of thing. So yeah, group effort. But the first couple of sessions, it was mostly either me playing on my own off stream. I kind of just wanted to get back into the game and just enjoy playing again. So I didn't start streaming that playthrough until quite a bit in, I think, or I was just streaming every other session, not always. So I was doing a lot of building and that kind of stuff, off stream. And so we finally reached the Bogwitch the other week, or 2 weeks ago. Or 3 weeks ago, I can't remember anymore, some time ago, but fairly recently. And so I finally got to experience that trader and some of the things that the trader brought. I haven't unlocked all the potions and everything because we just started exploring the mountains. So we haven't found silver yet, and we haven't got all the other ingredients. So we don't have all the recipes for the new meads unlocked, but we're a fair amount into that playthrough, and I'll see if we're able to get to the Ashlands with this. That would be a good opportunity for me to actually finally experience the Ashlands content, but having started from scratch. So yeah, yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun reconnecting with some of the players from Jirok servers that we hadn't necessarily played with for a while, and it was nice to be back into Valheim as a player and not just someone who organizes something related to the game.
Yeah. Well, have you played any other games besides Valheim?
No, not any new games. I had started a playthrough of V-Rising in September, I think, and we're so close to finishing. It's just hard to get all this group together. We're like literally at the last boss or last couple of bosses now. We just need to find like a date where everyone who was, playing regularly on that playthrough can get together so we can do that final boss together. But that was fun. I really, really enjoyed V-Rising. It was nice. It was refreshing to be playing a game that's fully fleshed out, but also the game itself is quite different from other games. It's got elements of survival exploration, but also quite heavy on combat. And it was a really, really nice change from the survival crafting management games that I've been stuck into for a while. So it was a really nice break from that. And then I got back into Medieval Dynasty around November time because they did an autumn update which brought a whole bunch of new quests and new customization options for your village and so on. So we've been slowly getting through to that content on the old world that we had. So kind of carrying on the playthrough that we had paused. And I saw that they actually today, so on the 28th of January, have released a new update, which has it's not got much new content, but it's mostly quality of life and like quality of life updates on certain features that for a while we as players have been kind of not complaining about, but saying, it's missing this, it's missing that. And a lot of our wishes have been kind of granted in that update. So I'm excited to play it probably after Val-Con at this stage, but to get back into it, to actually see all those changes. They did some changes to the UI, to the village management or production management, where, I don't know, it's in the update, it says production management summary, which looks like it might be a better way to have like a general overview of all your production stuff, because that's one thing that I love Medieval Dynasty and the other Dynasty games, but it's sometimes so heavy on the micromanagement of your production line that sometimes you spend like a whole 2 hours setting up all your production line and you actually don't. To me, it doesn't feel like I'm playing the game. It feels like I'm doing chores, So I hope that some of these new features will kind of alleviate some of that, make it a little bit easier for players to know what's going on. And yeah, so that's been nice. Medieval Dynasty, yeah. So as I said, I carried on. Another game that I want to get back into, because they actually now released 1.0, is Sengoku Dynasty, which I was playing when it was in early access, but now they released about three months ago now the actual 1.0, and so I haven't had a chance to play it yet, and I really want to get back into it. So that will be also kind of coming up after Val-Con. And then, yes, maybe if I have the time, find some time to play new games and try something different. I kind of I enjoy all the survival games and all of that, but it would be nice to experience something at a slightly different pace or something a bit different. We'll see.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I've wanted to try out a couple of the Dynasty games. I know I've been on with you for Medieval Dynasty a couple of times.
Yeah, your kid's now older than you. Your kid's already working, already has a wife and a kid.
It's weird that they don't just have my character age like added to my age, because when I log on, I'm like, if I'm not on, I don't age.
Yeah.
Oh, too bad we can't do that in real life, right? Like I just
if you're not in your house, you don't age.
And then let the world advance a little bit and then wake up. Well, yeah. So I've been, wanting to do some new things with my YouTube channel as well. Because there's so many other cool games out there, and I've tried them. But then I thought, well, why don't I just do like these day one playthroughs, and then if I have time, I'll go back and maybe do like a couple follow-ups to it to show some of the cool stuff with these games. And, certain games will hook me and then I'll play them more. But so I started doing day one videos to see what people were interested in. And one of the ones that I started was called Forever Skies. I think I'd mentioned it in the past, but basically you're in a world and the ground is completely polluted, but so everybody has built structures above the ground and above the pollution, and they're all ruined now. So whatever race of people were here, they're long past, and so you just run around and you have a Zeppelin, which I'm in right now. I don't know if there's a shot of it here throughout the playthrough, but you get this Zeppelin. And you basically, it's your house, it's your base. So you build onto it, you can expand it, you can build a giant house with multi-levels and everything. And you put things in there, and there's a big Zeppelin balloon above it. And then you can pilot it a little bit like a loft. Instead of an island, you're piloting your Zeppelin over to the next ruined structure. So it's this big, post-apocalyptic wasteland that you survive in and build in and investigate and learn new stuff and build new technology. So it's pretty fun. So I got that video up. That was one of my first day one experiences. And then another one that I did was called Pacific Drive. Have you guys heard of Pacific Drive?
I have, and I wish it weren't first person.
Yeah, it is first person. I kind of do prefer the third person myself, and some games do let you switch back and forth, but some don't. But
Aloft is one of those.
Yeah, I heard Aloft does it.
No, Aloft has an in-game native version where you can either play first person or third person, and it is beautiful because it's seamless and it's well done on both sets. So it makes me very happy.
Nice. Yeah, well, Pacific Drive is one of those games I'm definitely coming back to. So the basic premise is you find a car. It's like a post-apocalyptic world, but you find a car, and it's like this old beat-up station wagon from, I don't know, like the 60s or something, 70s maybe, and you get in it, and then you start finding parts to build up your car. And so your car is sort of like your crafting item, your base or whatever. Like there is a workshop that you can add things to, so that is kind of your home base, but your car is what you're really modifying. And you just go out and explore the world. And oh my gosh, the story in this game and the atmosphere, I kept getting chills while playing this game. And this is the intro. This scene here, you drive up and you lose power, and then all of a sudden you get pulled. That's like a spoiler here. You get pulled into this vortex, your whole car and everything, and then you wake up and the world is just weird and different, and things are floating. And so now you're in kind of like a fantasy post-apocalyptic world where like actually it's kind of like supernatural. Like there's like post-apocalyptic supernatural stuff going on, and it's, oh my goodness, it is chilling. This game is chilling. It's so well done. The voiceover acting is so well done. The mechanics of how you drive, how you add to your car, how you find stuff and use stuff is so just, it's just like totally captivated me. So I'll probably be back for this one for sure. Oh yeah, here's a peek of your work, a peek at your workshop where you are finding stuff to add, like, oh, here I'm getting a wheel to go put onto my car. But then there's another game that I did a day one on, and it is called Tankhead. And it's really interesting because you start off this game as a little robot, and you go around and you explore a little bit. And as you do, you eventually get this other robot body, which is like this more flat version. They transfer your consciousness to it. And I guess this is your tank head, like because you mount it to the top of a tank, which really looks like a 4-wheel drive vehicle right here. And as you can see, it's got no wheels, no guns or anything. But their build system, when you find stuff or you destroy enemies, is really cool. You can go and scrap pieces off the enemies' tanks and vehicles and put them on yours. You can put armor and weapons and all kinds of different things. Then you can buy more upgrades. And so you get these missions to go out and do stuff and find stuff, and you get off your tank. So you are that third person avatar. Flying around as this little robot while you go into buildings and investigate and read and little clues and find stuff that you can use. And then at the end of each quest event that you're doing, there's a boss fight, and the bosses are epic. Like I don't have the boss on this stream, but my next stream of this game will have the boss fight. So, and like next on my list are literally like Satisfactory and Aloft is high up on the list as well. So I'm excited to try those games. But so talk quickly about our Valheim adventures. So Gwen mentioned that she came back and she did Bog Witch. And you said you got to the mountains, or you got past the mountains?
Yeah, we just got into the mountains and got lucky to find some frost caves. So did a bit of that, but haven't found any silver yet because we haven't killed Bone Mass. I don't want to do the Bone Mass fight. So we might try to find, I just don't want the raids, like the annoying, next level raids on the base, because the base is not yet. Well, now we have a wall, so maybe we could, but I just don't like the Bone Mass fight. So I'll try to progress the game without it and see if we can find the other ways, the big smashy smash hammer to find silver instead.
Do you not like the Bone Mass fight because of how the Bone Mass fight went down with your sister?
Every Bone Mass fight I've ever done was always a pain. And
that was a train wreck, by the way, Gwen. I saw it.
That's not true, Gwen. Every time we've done it with the Shield Maidens for International Women's Day.
Oh yeah, but that was because I was just like in the background watching you all fight.
You were fighting too.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't enjoy that fight. It's not as enjoyable as some of the other boss fights to me. Like, I don't know. It feels just constant overwhelm and poison everywhere, and it's messy, and it's
Yeah, I find if I go in without poison resist and a melee weapon, it's a hassle. But if you go in with poison resistance and a melee weapon, it ends pretty fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there is a lot of chaos that goes on, and you can be running in the water, which slows you down. Depending on how the surrounding of Bone Mass's summoning area is. Like you could get unlucky. We actually ran around with our hose before the boss fight to try to bring up some of the water level because it was all so deep.
Yeah, I think what I don't enjoy about the Bone Mass fight compared to some of the other boss fights is you can't really dodge the attacks. I really enjoy some of the others like Murder or even Yagluth and the Elder, obviously, because you some of the attacks are thrown in a direction and you can dodge it if you know the pattern or you have the time. You are able to dodge to a degree, and the Bone Mass ones you can't really. You're either at a distance and just poking it with arrows for freaking forever, or you're in there and you can't really dodge the poison and all of that, and then stuff spawns around you and just swarms you. So I think that's what I don't enjoy, is the fact that it just feels like you have to constantly bat all the mobs away. And the Queen fight, actually thinking about the Queen fight, it's kind of a similar vibe, but I find even that fight a bit more interesting. I've not done Fader yet, so we'll see what that is.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'll be interesting to see your reaction to that one.
To Fader, yeah.
Well, yeah. So like Gwen, I started a new playthrough, and in Valheim, I haven't streamed any of that playthrough. I just wanted to play it, and I played it. I have a world going with a friend, and so he and I jump on and do stuff. It's nice to have somebody else who can log on and do some stuff so that you don't have to do all the farming yourself, and tree chopping and everything. You kind of split up some of the duties, but Yeah. My friend found the maypole on the world, which was amazing. So as soon as we found a maypole, because we hadn't established a permanent base yet, we just had a little starter one that was getting too crowded. And we kept talking about, we need more chests, because Valheim is all about the walls and walls of chests, which is frustrating, but we're like, okay, we need to move and build bigger storage areas and all this stuff. And then he goes, guess what? I just found a maypole. Let's build a new base there. So we did that, and
nice.
Yeah, and then we defeated up to bone mass, and we're ready to fight Motor basically. So we have to do that, and then I haven't as a player played Mistlands or Ashlands. I've only done them as admin. When the Mistlands was out,
this, and I am just
the Mistlands really.
I did a lot of Mistlands work as an admin, especially for the seasonal servers.
Yeah.
Because I added a lot of the Mistlands stuff to the rest of the world, because there's so much cool stuff there to the seasonal worlds. But yeah, so I haven't actually played it and run around in the mist and fell off the high mountains before I get my feather cape and all that stuff. All the stuff that civilians have to do. I was super mad, right? I just fly around like admin.
Yep.
But and yeah, I haven't been to Ashlands as a player at all. So we're just taking our time and enjoying it. That's one of the great things about Valheim is there's no rush. I mean, unless you're doing a speed challenge or some kind of thing, or you're playing with people and you guys are all like, let's get there as quickly as we can. But no, we just do it when we do it.
So a bit of a hot take on the Maypole stuff, because I loved that when the game first launched in early access, and the Maypole was such a rare thing. And if you found it on your world, it was like, oh my God, like finding a really cool Easter egg. And I really enjoyed having to, on some of the early seasonal servers, running around trying to find Maypoles to build a base around. I actually have I don't know, maybe you were there, Morning Darkness, playing with us on one of the no map seasonal servers quite early on. I had found a Maypole, started building a base, and then the Maypole got destroyed by a Grey Wolf or
you have to protect that thing immediately.
That was Team Cheese.
Yeah, I remember. And that was again, one of those where you're like, no, the Maypole. We ended up finding a second one, so we got lucky. But I feel like them making the Maypole craftable at certain times kind of took a little bit of that special element away. And maybe they should
only in the summer.
Yeah, but I was told, I haven't tested it myself, but I was told that it's because now all the seasonal stuff is time defined, as in from a certain start day to end day, it will automatically come onto your game. Apparently, you can literally change the date on your computer, log it to Christmas or whatever, log in and unlock those items. So anyone could just cheat and get a Maypole.
Well, I mean, anybody could just cheat and turn dev commands on. It'd be easier than changing the clock on your computer.
Oh, not for me.
Well, I mean, yeah. So I because I started the server that my friend and I are playing. I mean, obviously I could just turn on dev commands and do whatever I want, but I just don't do it. I just play. The one setting I did turn on one of our other playthroughs previous to this was build in caves, which was added when they added the world modifiers. They didn't add it in the world modifiers interface, but they did add it as a command in the console. So you can turn that on to build in dungeons if you want. You no longer need a mod for it, basically.
Yeah, that's quite nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I quite like the very special feeling you got when you found a Maypole, and now you just wait until summer to just make one in your base to increase that comfort level. So
yeah, people when you're able to build the Maypole or any of the seasonal items, the Halloween, and then the Christmas or whatever, everybody just went around and put a whole bunch everywhere, right? So that you have access to them. Which is what we did for our base with the Yule items. We just put it all everywhere because we knew it was going to go away. So he said, well, let's just decorate it.
Yeah, you want that extra comfort point, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I will say that my husband and I also found one natively in our Mistlands public test branch world. And I immediately built around it and built a little courtyard and surrounded a build around it just so that we could protect it.
Yeah. Immediately, you got to build some protective structures around it because even just the little guys will come in.
Oh yeah,
the greylings or grey dwarfs will come in, and then of course, if a troll can reach it with his club or rock, then forget it. Swing through the wall and hit it, and it's gone because it's so fragile. But one of the videos that I did that actually got a lot of attention between now and the last podcast was one where I just called how to make better ladders in Valheim, because what they call a ladder is really just their narrow, steep stairs. They don't have a proper, upright ladder. And I just found a perfect way with the 1 meter beams to click in 2 ladders side by side. So you basically double the amount of stairs that go up.
Yep.
And it makes it way smoother, especially if you run. It's like running up a flat platform. Still get a little bounce when you walk, but it's faster. So check out that video if you guys haven't seen it, because now I build that in all my bases.
I love it. It was good.
Cool. And you don't get access to the spirally stairs till way later in the game. There's so much in Valheim you don't get access till way later. It's actually like on my wish list is some of the things we have access to later. I'd like to get more primitive versions of them sooner, like the spirally stairs, some primitive spirally stairs, or some magic, like simple magic early on, or some simple fist weapons. Let me put some bandages and rocks around my fist and punch with rocks or something, because you can't practice these certain weapon skills until you get the weapon later. And then later in the game, you're starting off with a 0 skill. So it just takes a lot longer to catch up with your other skills. So it kind of like I've got a really high axe skill because that's what I use to chop trees down and kill enemies. Why do I switch to any other weapon? It's so high. I do better with it, right? Unless you just really love another weapon and you're willing to put in the time to, get that skill up.
Yeah.
But what about you? Yeah.
I was just going to say, when you get to play on Ashlands, you'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm looking forward to both Mistlands and Ashlands. Well, what about you? Have you played? You're playing Valheim. Is there like a big event that you guys have done, or a big accomplishment, or a big playthrough that you've completed in the last month or so?
Have I talked? I don't even know. I crossed it off, but I don't think I talked about this.
Well, we talked previously about the other games we played, and Gwen slipped in her Valheim in there.
No, yeah.
But I don't know if you did.
No, I don't think I did. Okay, so I've actually been doing a community run that we've been calling the Oregon Trailheim. It's basically a nomad run. We've got 2 mods that are kind of cute, just to kind of like give it flavor. Crafty Carts mod, which is a covered workbench that is also a cart, and it is so much fun to play with. And then Odin's Campsite, which gives you sleeping bags and tents.
Well, yeah, I remember seeing that mod. It looked really cool. That would be something fun if they added for real in the game for those people who
they will
like
never
to travel.
But it is fun. And we just hit the Ashlands. So people are anxious to see how this run goes with us moving around in the Ashlands, because we're going to be moving into the Ashlands this Friday with all of our stuff. So it'll be interesting. And then I've also been working on my Victorian build, which I started working on like 2 weeks after the Ashlands released. And I'm
about a year now?
Yeah.
Is it in a tree?
No.
Oh.
But I am finally starting to do interior decorating on it. So
nice.
That's been a lot of fun. And then I've also been working on the agony that has been working on my Val-Con booth.
Oh, right. For Val-Con.
So I've been working on a Val-Con booth. It is a treehouse.
Of course it is.
And I was trying to like blueprint it to copy it over to the Val-Con server. And it didn't copy the blueprint didn't copy the tree. So I was like, and people are like, oh, well, Infinity Hammer might. And I was like, oh, okay. So I go to use Infinity Hammer to copy the blueprint.
And you deleted it?
I deleted it.
Yeah. And thought you had the blueprint. So you log off your game and it was gone?
No. Oh, two things. I did have a blueprint, but without the tree.
Yep.
And I didn't know about the Infinity Hammer undo feature.
Oh, yep. The undo feature. Yeah. So you thought when you deleted it that it was just gone, even though you're like looking right there. And if you knew about undo, you could have hit it.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's actually a clip of the horror on my face when I realized that I had deleted everything. And so fortunately and unfortunately, it didn't matter. Because even if I had gotten the tree copied over, the process of copying it to the Val-Con server, all of the item stands were empty. And all of the stuff placed with the serving tray popped up. So I would have had to have redone all of those parts anyway. And because I built it with unlimited health, I was able to bring the build in and then spawn in the tree later.
I was just going to ask if you did that, because then it would just levitate there and you could try to position the tree. Yeah.
I almost have the tree right. It's good enough.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, that the absolute.
Well, these are the learning process, like especially dealing with mods. Like once you mess something up, then hopefully you don't do it again. But
oh my gosh, no, just it was a whole moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did finally successfully get my booth over. So yay.
Cool. Well, so just one more thing about Val-Con. You guys are both going to be on the first shift. Is that correct? Or what shift are you doing, Morning? Do you remember?
Third shift.
Oh, you're doing the third, which is the one where we actually need a lot of help on, because the third shift. So our shifts over the 24 hours, there's 4 shifts, 6 hours each. And yes, that time is like when the UK are asleep and or just waking up.
Just waking up typically, yeah. And
in the Americas, we're all in bed or just going to bed, depending on the time.
Depending on what hours you keep.
Right. Yeah. So you'll see time, Gwen and I just early at the beginning and throughout, and then MD on the third shift. And who knows? Well, you'll be streaming too. Are you streaming? Or have you?
So I'll be starting 8 p.m. Pacific time, and then going to my normal 2 a.m. stream cycle. Normally I start 10 p.m. But my mom is actually going to be taking my child, and he's going to be having a sleepover at his nana's.
Aww.
So everyone is excited about this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be able to do that third shift. But I'm going to be doing a disability and gaming panel on about 30 minutes into my shift. And it's going to be a live panel. Cool. And after that, I will be pausing at about midnight my time. I will be stepping back a little bit from the host position so that I can run and stream the 1 hour egg hunt event.
Nice.
Which we'll make sure to come and check out.
Yeah.
I do still need participants. So whether or not you check it out, if you want to participate in it.
Well, I think I'm on host duty at that time, covering that aspect. So I'm not sure or either that or I'll.
I think it's right before.
Is it on one of the event servers or is it on your server?
It is. I'll be hosting.
Sorry. Yes, it is.
I'll be hosting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Let me check. But I have a feeling that.
Will it be a co-op session, or will you be hosting it on a server?
I'll be hosting it on a server.
Okay.
And it will be 10 people who get to come into the game, and brand new characters, and they get to run around and hunt for. There are over 500 eggs.
Oh, wow.
on a starter island that have been hidden on item stands. And you must find as many as possible. And there's no PvP or anything like that. But I will say that when my husband and I first did this map, he first trapped me in a burial chamber. So when I left, I couldn't like get out. I had to break my way out. And while I was trying to break my way out, he kited a troll over to me.
So you can sabotage the other players so you find more eggs while they die or get trapped, right?
He looted my body of the 80 eggs that I had. It was
so that's fair game, right? If your tombstone's there, you can take the eggs.
I had the most eggs until he did that.
Nice. That sounds like
absolutely
fun.
Fair game. It's a very, very fun map, and I'm very excited to share it with so many people.
Yeah, actually, I just double checked the schedule, and you'll be running it from 8 to 9 a.m. UTC, so that's UK time. So 1 hour later for the Europeans, which is nice for us Europeans and anyone in Australia wanting to join. So if you're interested, comment on this video, and we'll put you in touch with Morning Darkness so that you can go and join the hunt. I am unfortunately on shift for host duty at that time, but let's see if loads of hosts are already there and things are running, then I might take a little break from hosting and check out the treasure hunt. I've been saying because I love that, like, treasure hunting, and some of my favorite events on Jirok servers as well have been those like special dungeons and stuff where you go behind the vines to find stuff. I really want to join that at some point.
Well, it sounds like super fun to me to find ways to sabotage other players and get them killed and take their eggs. Like that's all I'd be doing. I would be looking for eggs.
You'd just be like sneaking behind all the other players, waiting for them to waiting for the opportunity.
Die, loot the corpse, then go hide my eggs somewhere in case I die, and then go. It sounds like a lot of fun. We'll have to do something like that in the future too, when we're not doing Val-Con, so I could participate. Cool. Well, so everyone's excited for Val-Con, and we hope that you'll join us. And thanks for tuning into this podcast. And I think that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for joining me, everybody.
And Val-Con, let's go.
Get your Val-Con merch. And until next time, have fun out there.
Bye.
Bye.